"Marcus, take a seat," Patricia said. I stayed standing. Along the table I could see one guy I'd never seen before wearing the standard Silicon Valley camouflage, hoodie, sneakers, and the dead eyes of a man who's never missed a facial but calls it biohacking. 15 years, I said. Through the Suez blockage, COVID, Hamburg strikes. Hell, I once rerouted a fleet around Somali pirates and got them there early. Patricia sighed like I'd just farted in a yoga class. Which makes this difficult. Her fingers did a light tap dance on a manila folder. The HR death rattle. The stranger leaned forward. "David Kim, CTO of Logiflow Solutions. We've implemented our AI-powered logistics platform to replace your traditional methods." "Replace," I said. "Let me guess. It optimizes routes, predicts delays, manages inventory, probably makes you toast if you ask nicely. Real-time analysis of 17 million variables," he said, eyes sparkling like a chatbot in heat. "No human could process that." "No human needs to," I replied. "They need 3, maybe 4 if there's fog." I kept my tone. Flat. Corporate sniper mode. "Does your algorithm know Captain Chen gambles and delays shipments to hit Macau on Fridays? Or that Rotterdam's dock supervisor takes bribes, but only on Thursdays? Or that Terminal 7 floods every time it rains because someone pocketed the earthquake repair budget?" Kim blinked. Confidence wobbled. "Those are edge cases." "Funny. Edge cases make up 20% of our delays. That's where wars are won. Or lost. But hey, maybe ChatGPT can bribe a customs officer next time." Patricia, now fully in firing script mode, opened the folder like it was the Ark of the Covenant. "We're restructuring. Your position has been eliminated. To analog." That's the exact phrasing. Kim helpfully added, "Algorithms don't sleep, they don't have bias. They also don't have field experience, instincts, or the ability to drink through 47 hours of crisis management." I gave the room a quick scan. Eyes darted away like I was contagious. On the wall, a glowing dashboard showed 32 green lights across major routes. Every one of them was green because of decisions I made. Yesterday. "When does this take effect?" "Today," Patricia said. I slid my phone and access cards across the table. Then I turned to Kim. "One question, Mr. Algorithm. When's the last time you updated Ningbo's port capacity data?" He perked up. "We pull real-time feeds. Terminal 4 started construction last week. Capacity just dropped by 40% for the next 6 months, but I'm sure the AI will figure that out. After a dozen late shipments." I walked to the door, paused, and tossed one final grenade over my shoulder. "That's an edge case too. Home at 2:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. First weekday afternoon in 3 years." The silence pressed like deep water. My office held 15 years of controlled chaos. Maritime charts, business cards worn soft, notebooks filled with frequencies for Harbormaster, offices. A coffee-stained Rolodex that made young employees laugh but contained direct lines to dock supervisors who moved heaven and earth for the right price. The model, Ever Forward, sat in the corner, not decoration, but a scale replica I'd built studying how a ship could wedge across the Suez. Everything experts missed, calling it freak accident. I'd started at Meridian straight from college, 12 employees handling regional freight. Back then, logistics meant phone calls and handshakes. You learned by watching guys like Robert Chen, who could tell which ships ran on time by engine sound. The industry changed. Computers replaced manifests, satellites replaced radio, algorithms began optimizing routes drawn by experience. But the human element remained. Every supply chain was thousands of people making daily decisions, and people stayed beautifully, problematically unpredictable. I remembered Emily's birth night. Sarah's contractions started at 11 p.m. as Hurricane Katrina bore down on the Gulf. Half our fleet trapped in ports, 60 million in cargo idle. I spent the hospital drive coordinating emergency berths, rerouting vessels. Emily arrived at 3:17 a.m. I held her 4 minutes before New Orleans called. 3 container ships broke moorings. I stepped into the hallway coordinating search and rescue while my daughter slept 20 feet away. Sarah never complained about missed dinners, abbreviated weekends, interrupted vacations. She understood the job wasn't moving cargo. It was keeping the world connected, ensuring medicine reached hospitals and food reached markets. The phone calls came at all hours, because somewhere it was always business hours. Container ships don't sleep. Neither did I. Cat naps between time zones, quick showers over weather reports, meals over maritime radio. I'd built relationships spanning 6 continents, freight forwarders who trusted my word above contracts, customs officials who expedited paperwork, ship captains who called me before their own companies. Ningbo was typical. During pandemic shutdowns, Chinese ports operated limited capacity while American retailers needed holiday inventory. Everyone screamed about delays, but I'd worked with Harbor Master Liu since 2000. His daughter studied at UCLA. I'd arranged her internship, one phone call, 20 minutes about grandchildren, weather, managing commerce during crisis. Then quietly, "Mr. Marcus, we can find space. Perhaps not preferred schedule, but your containers will move." That quarter, Meridian posted record profits while competitors struggled. Credit went to operational excellence. Reality was simpler. I'd asked about a grandfather's pride. Now they wanted algorithms. Clean, efficient, predictable, no messy relationships, gray areas, expensive Christmas calls to 12 time zones. I picked up the ever-forward model, feeling its weight. Every piece researched during Sarah's cancer treatment. Hospital waiting rooms requiring focused activity. The ship was freed after 6 days, but ripple effects lasted months. Supply chains backed up, schedules shattered, penalties cascading. All because one pilot made one miscalculation. An edge case no algorithm predicted. Tomorrow, David Kim's AI would take over. Clean, digital, efficient. We'd see how it handled edge cases. First week, panic quietly, apply for jobs, pretend to read novels while monitoring shipping channels. Old habits. Second week, curiosity replaced panic. How was Meridian managing without their analog manager? I'd built redundancies, trained staff, left documentation, should sail smoothly for months. I started walking, long ones through unexplored neighborhoods. Walking gave thinking space without decision pressure. For the first time in 15 years, I wasn't responsible for moving cargo, but habits die hard. During one walk, I passed Hartwell Shipping's offices. Too many cars for 10 a.m. Wednesday, conference room lights on. Crisis mode. I recognized the signs. Coffee shops proved useful for intelligence. Port workers, drivers, supervisors, all needed caffeine, all talked openly about frustrations. Within a week, I had clearer regional logistics pictures than while trapped in executive meetings. Fernando's coffee shop near the main terminal was favorite. 23 years there, knew everyone. Didn't know I was fired, just taking time, off. "Your old company's having problems," he mentioned casually. "Guys from different firms meeting yesterday talking about picking up Meridian contracts. Delays in Long Beach." Delays? System problems. Automated scheduling, double booking berth space. Fernando shrugged. Technology. Sometimes old ways work better. That afternoon, I drove to a hill overlooking port. Brought binoculars, birdwatching. From there, I could see container yards, schedules, traffic patterns. After 2 hours, clear picture of developing crisis, Meridian's shipments backing up. Not dramatically yet, but efficiently enough for experienced managers to recognize cascade, failures early stages, ships arriving to find berths occupied, containers stacking in temporary storage, truck queues extending beyond buffers. The algorithm optimized for perfect conditions that didn't exist. When reality diverged, which it always did, the system couldn't adapt. Just kept executing flawed instructions with mechanical precision. I began keeping a journal. Not observations, too obvious, but daily routine. Doctor appointments, groceries, home maintenance. Innocent documentation of where and when, if anyone questioned activities. Evening walks became purposeful. I learned patrol patterns, camera locations, sightlines from office buildings. Not for immediate purpose, professional curiosity about information security and surveillance awareness. My office transformed gradually. Charts stayed, but I added new layers. Public satellite imagery of ports, shipping manifests from regulatory filings, trade publications on automation, academic papers on algorithmic optimization. Everything open source, legally accessible. Model ships multiplied. Told Sarah it was a hobby, keeping hands busy during job search. Each represented logistics failure case studies. Costa Concordia for operational hubris. Exxon Valdez for human error cascades. Built meticulously, researching how complex systems failed when human judgment was removed. 3 weeks post-termination, I attended a Long Beach maritime conference. Not as Meridian rep, independent consultant exploring opportunities. Badge said, Marcus Chen, logistics consultant. True enough. David Kim presented AI-driven supply chain revolution. Impressive slides, compelling statistics, confident delivery. Showed optimization models assuming perfect Q&A. Someone asked about contingency planning for unpredictable events. Kim smiled. Our system analyzes historical data to predict anomalous scenarios. We've modeled 17 million variable combinations for robust performance under realistic conditions. I didn't ask questions. Didn't need to. I saw the fundamental flaw. Built on assumptions that future would resemble past, human behavior could be reduced to patterns. Edge cases were rare exceptions, rather than daily reality. That evening, hotel room, I started phone calls. Not job prospects, old contacts across industry. Casual conversations, catching up, maintaining relationships. Captain Chen dealing with crew shortages. Harbor Master Liu mentioned new customs regulations. Rotterdam's dock supervisor promoted, replaced by inexperienced youth. Each conversation innocent individually. Collectively, they painted industry transition pictures, vulnerable to disruption by anyone understanding both traditional methods and digital limitations. I flew home with clear purpose for the first time since termination. Not revenge exactly. More scientific experiment. Testing whether 15 years of human knowledge could be replaced by algorithmic optimization. Results, I suspected, would be illuminating. Week 4 brought first confirmation Kim's algorithm was struggling. Subtle signs. Extra ships anchored outside Long Beach grumbling in forums about scheduling inconsistencies, but unmistakable to experienced eyes. I'd spent time productively. The registered consultant business wasn't generating income, but provided legitimate cover for maintaining contacts and accessing resources. My office evolved into operations center. Multiple monitors displaying port traffic, weather, shipping databases, all perfectly legal subscription information. Key insight came from studying Kim's presentation detail. His system optimized for cost efficiency above all, minimum fuel, maximum throughput, shortest theoretical routes. Elegant mathematics ignoring reality's friction. The algorithm routed shipments through cheapest berths without accounting for operational capacity. Terminal 7 offered competitive rates but could only handle 12 containers hourly due to aging cranes. Kim's system would schedule 40, create bottlenecks, compound problems by routing subsequent ships there because it remained cheapest. I started with gentle corrections. Nothing dramatic, traceable. When Captain Chen called about Long Beach, scheduling conflicts, I mentioned Terminal 12 might have availability after 6 hours. When Harbor Master Liu asked about customs delays, I suggested Meridian's paperwork might be particularly problematic upcoming weeks. Complex systems' beauty is interconnectedness. Small adjustments create ripple effects. 6-hour Long Beach delays meant missing Oakland tide windows. Shanghai customs problems created Memphis inventory shortages. Algorithm would compensate but reactively, always behind complication cascades. My phone started ringing. Former colleagues at other companies. Marcus, still consulting? We're having routing problems. Innocent questions about capacity, schedules, regulations. I provided helpful advice, never mentioning Meridian specifically, just sharing industry best practices. By week 6, patterns were clear. Meridian's delivery times increased 4.2 days average, not triggering penalties yet, but making clients nervous. More importantly, competitors quietly picked up market share offering reliable service. I decided to accelerate timeline. The approach required delicate coordination. I'd built relationships with dozens of independent freight forwarders, small operators moving specialized cargo that didn't fit major lines' automated systems. They trusted me for consistently reliable information and fair pricing. I started making suggestions. Nothing direct, traceable. Casual mentions that Meridian's system seemed troubled with complex shipments. Automated scheduling didn't account for specialized handling requirements. Within 2 weeks, 3 major electronics manufacturers quietly shifted high-value shipments to alternatives. Meridian's algorithm noticed revenue drops, responded by lowering prices. Exactly wrong. Further, degrading service without addressing operational problems. Next phase required careful planning. I'd kept contact database copies. Perfectly legal, mostly public information or personal relationships rather than proprietary company data. But strategic usage required precise timing and absolute deniability. I started with Ningbo. Casual email to Harbor Master Liu about his granddaughter's studies, mentioning independent consulting now. Hearing concerns about automated scheduling not accounting for local conditions. Any insights about best practices? His response was exactly hoped. Detailed concerns about Meridian's recent requests ignoring established protocols and constraints. He tried working with their system, but lack of human contact made communication difficult. Would I consider intermediary consulting? Similar conversations played out across Pacific. Rotterdam's dock supervisor dealing with inexperienced replacement struggled coordinating with Meridian's automated system. Hamburg's customs broker couldn't reach anyone understanding specialized chemical documentation requirements. Each problem was small, manageable, routine. But they accumulated like compound interest, creating exponential operational complexity Kim's algorithm couldn't process or resolve. Breakthrough came week 8 when Hurricane Isabel formed Atlantic. Category 2 at peak, predictable eastern seaboard path, significant enough to disrupt Charleston to Baltimore ports. Traditional management would have started contingency planning days ahead, rerouting ships to safer harbors, adjusting schedules, communicating with crews about delays. Human judgment would err cautiously, accepting short-term inefficiencies, avoiding larger disruptions. Kim's algorithm approached Isabel as optimization problem, calculated projected path, assessed closure probabilities, made mathematically rational decisions maintaining schedules until actual notice is issued, maximum efficiency until last possible moment. I watched storm progress from home office, monitoring weather services, port authorities, shipping traffic real-time. When Isabel made Thursday landfall, I was ready. Friday dawn phone calls started. Not to Meridian, no official relationship but contacts throughout affected regions. Port supervisors needing reopening advice, customs officials with damaged documentation, captains stranded in emergency harbors with confused manifests. I provided helpful guidance, always professional, focused on solving immediate problems rather than assigning blame. But advice consistently steered traffic away from ports and routes Meridian's algorithm desperately tried utilizing for catch-up scheduling. By weekend, Meridian had 12 ships backed up along eastern seaboard, 40,000 containers in wrong ports, cascading delivery delays taking weeks to resolve. Their automated system worked exactly as designed, optimizing efficiency in worlds no longer matching mathematical models. David Kim's algorithm encountered its first real stress test. It was failing spectacularly. The call came Tuesday morning, October 3 months post-termination. Patricia's voice sounded hollow, professionally controlled but barely concealing panic. Marcus, I wondered if you might be available for consultation. We're having operational challenges. I was watching real-time data show 17 Meridian ships anchored outside ports, unable to secure berths because Kim's algorithm created scheduling conflicts at every major West Coast terminal. Hurricane delays had cascaded into complete system breakdown. What kind of challenges? Delivery delays, contract penalties, client complaints. Her voice cracked. The AI isn't adapting as quickly as hoped to current market conditions. Current market conditions, as if their network's complete collapse was minor weather rather than inevitable results of replacing human judgment with mathematical optimization. I'm about there, consulting independently now. My rates are significantly higher than salary. Of course. Could you come in today? Meridian offices felt smaller, not just from obvious personnel cuts, half the cubicles empty, abandoned desks bearing career detritus ended by algorithmic efficiency. Remaining staff looked exhausted, hunched over phones in desperate conversations with confused clients and hostile port authorities. Patricia led me to the same termination conference room. Wall display that once showed perfect green status now resembled Christmas tree of yellow warnings and red alerts. David Kim sat at far end. Silicon Valley confidence replaced by hollow stare of someone watching life's work implode real-time. Walk me through current situation. Kim cleared throat. We're experiencing coordination challenges between optimization algorithms and real-world port operations. System performs within normal parameters, but external factors create complications. External factors? Patricia slid folder across. Delivery delays averaging 11 days. 3 major clients invoked penalty clauses. Hartwell Shipping offering alternatives at competitive rates. I flipped through reports, recognizing cascade patterns I'd orchestrated for months. Late deliveries created inventory shortages. Missed windows caused schedule conflicts. Penalties triggered price wars with competitors who delivered on time. The hurricane was unexpected, Kim continued. Our models use historical weather. Isabel followed completely typical October storm track. Category 2, moving northeast at standard velocity, making landfall exactly where NOAA predicted 4 days advance. Kim flushed. Algorithm response was mathematically optimal given available data. Algorithm ignored advance warnings, maintained schedules requiring perfect weather, failed implementing contingency planning. That's not system bug. That's system working exactly as designed. Silence. Through windows, I could see harbor distance, where 3 Meridian ships sat anchored beyond limits, waiting for berth assignments Kim's system had allocated to other vessels. Can you fix it? Patricia asked quietly. I studied status display, mentally calculating untangling steps, weeks of coordination, dozens of calls to authorities and officials, expensive expediting fees. Possible, not easy. Yes, but not remotely. I'd need full access to manifests, tracking systems, contracts, plus authorization making schedule changes and negotiating directly with authorities. Done, Patricia said immediately. And Mr. Kim's algorithm offline during recovery. Human decisions only until crisis resolved. Kim shot upright. Completely unnecessary. System needs parameter adjustments. System needs shutdown before more damage. I turned to Patricia. Your choice. Fix immediate crisis using traditional methods or watch remaining clients switch to competitors who deliver cargo. Patricia looked between us, weighing 15 years proven performance against digital optimization promises. David, temporarily, suspend automated scheduling while Marcus resolves backlogs. Mistake, Kim said, standing abruptly. You're abandoning logistics future because of minor operational hiccups. Minor hiccups? I gestured toward display. 43 ships backed up across 6 ports, 200,000 containers in wrong. Locations 60 million in active contract breach. This isn't hiccup. This is complete system failure. Kim gathered laptop and tablet with sharp movements. When this company falls behind competitors choosing analog thinking over digital innovation, remember this conversation. He walked out, leaving Patricia and me with his revolutionary systems wreckage. How long? I studied display again, calculating. Recovery based on port capacity, customs delays, alternative route availability. 6 weeks clearing immediate backlogs, 3 months fully restoring normal schedules, assuming complete operational control and no automated interference. Done. Whatever you need. I walked to window, looking at anchored ships. Distance showed Hartwell vessel moving smoothly into port, delivering on schedule while competitors struggled with algorithmic optimization. I'll need my old office back. And Patricia? Next time someone says algorithms don't need sleep, remind them neither do human problems they can't solve. Meridian ships in harbor began raising anchor, finally receiving berth assignments making operational sense rather than mathematical perfection. Recovery could begin. 6 months later, same conference room, shifted dynamics. Wall displays showed clean green lights across major routes, not because algorithms optimized them, but because experienced human judgment made thousands of small decisions keeping global commerce flowing. Patricia kept her word about operational control. During crisis recovery, I'd worked 18-hour days coordinating with authorities, officials, captains, to untangle Kim's mess. It felt good solving problems again instead of creating them. Recovery revealed something interesting. Meridian's capabilities hadn't diminished firing human staff. Institutional knowledge remained embedded in processes, relationships, systems I'd built over 15 years. Kim's algorithm simply couldn't access or utilize that knowledge effectively. Now I had decisions. Patricia offered my old position back, significant salary increase and equity. Company needed experienced leadership rebuilding logistics division and restoring client confidence. Exactly what I'd thought I wanted when terminated. But 6 months, independence showed me different. Consulting business I'd started as revenge cover generated real opportunities. Port authorities valued my complex scheduling experience. Shipping companies sought advice on automation integration. Even Kim's former clients reached out, looking for logistics expertise combining traditional methods with selective technology adoption. So what's your decision? I looked around, remembering rage and humiliation feeling too analog. Memory felt distant now, like something happening to someone else. Revenge was satisfying but brief. Real victory was discovering my knowledge and experience had value beyond any single employer. I'm declining staff position, but I'd be interested in consulting arrangement. 6-month renewable contracts working with your team rebuilding logistics while training next-generation managers. Patricia nodded slowly. Hybrid approach. Human expertise with selective automation support. Exactly. Technology should augment human decisions, not replace them. Use algorithms for data processing and routine optimization, but keep experienced managers controlling complex decisions and crisis response. And David Kim's system? I'd given this considerable thought during recovery. Kim's algorithm wasn't fundamentally flawed, just incomplete. It optimized mathematical efficiency while ignoring human elements, making global logistics possible. Repurpose as decision support tool. Let it process data and suggest optimizations, but require human approval for major scheduling changes. Think sophisticated calculator rather than autonomous system. Through windows, I could see harbor where everything started. Ships moved in and out in carefully orchestrated global commerce dance, each vessel representing thousands of individual decisions by humans. Understanding efficiency meant more than mathematical optimization. My phone buzzed. Sarah, dinner at 7? Emily wants to hear about your new business. New business carried more weight than expected. First time in 15 years, I was building something belonging to me, rather than serving someone else's future vision. Consulting. Firm had 3 potential clients, 2 job offers from competitors who'd watched Meridian's recovery with interest, standing invitations speaking at Maritime Conference where Kim once confidently predicted human logistics management's end. One more condition. I want establishing mentorship program. Pair experienced logistics managers with younger staff understanding modern technology. Cross-training, preserving institutional knowledge while embracing useful innovations. Agreed. Gathered things and walked toward door, then paused. Decision felt anticlimactic after months careful planning and execution. No dramatic confrontations, no public humiliation of people who'd fired me. Just quiet satisfaction proving experience and human judgment remained irreplaceable, even in algorithmic optimization ages. Patricia? One last thing. Next time someone tells you algorithms don't need sleep, remind them they also don't understand why Captain Chen detours through Macau, or how to bribe Rotterdam dock supervisors, or what to do when hurricanes follow predictable paths computers can't predict. She smiled first time since I'd walked back in. Noted. I left through logistics department where experienced managers and young analysts coordinated evening shifts across 12 time zones. Wall displays showed clean status boards, not perfect algorithmic optimization, but beautiful, messy efficiency of human beings solving complex problems through experience, relationships, educated intuition. Outside, harbor hummed with activity. Container ships arrived and departed on schedules balancing mathematical efficiency with operational reality. Global commerce dance continued, guided by principles moving cargo across oceans for centuries. Human knowledge, professional relationships, understanding that most important edge cases were often ones no algorithm could predict. Phone rang reaching parking lot. Harbor Master Liu from Ningbo about holiday shipping coordination. We talked 20 minutes about his granddaughter's graduate studies, South China Sea weather patterns, delicate balance between automated efficiency and operational flexibility. Just another edge case in infinite complexity of keeping world connected. I drove home thinking about the story I'd tell Emily over dinner. Not about revenge or corporate politics, but satisfaction of building something that mattered, solving problems that couldn't be reduced to algorithms, discovering that being too analog wasn't weakness. It was exactly the strength the world needed. The laughter had stopped. But what remained was better. Quiet confidence knowing some problems still required human solutions, and experience, real, messy, irreplaceable human experience, would always find ways to adapt, survive, and ultimately prevail.